Oh, shit. How do you think they're gonna react when we tell them they can't leave? Look, I know this sounds crazy, but none of you are safe here.
Whoa, what the hell is she talking about?
We are all in this thing together.
There are things around here that walk and talk just like us until they walk up to you and rip your guts out. There is no way out.
Oh, thank God we heard the screaming.
You picked a bad spot.
I'm seeing a lot of people pushed to their edge. You ever wonder if maybe that's the point?
Yo, what is up, people? What is going on? Welcome back. We are here with another episode of From. Got my homie Brian the Grizzly in the house. Tell the people where they can find you, sir. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm new doing this stuff, obviously. So on 1/3 of Spoiler Kings, we go live Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, 9:30. Then I'm here on every Tuesday. We're doing stuff with Nzo, no matter what. So one way or another, you can catch us somewhere.
Except for last Tuesday, you know.
Except for last Tuesday, because somebody was late, and it could have been me.
Speeding, you know what I mean? Catching tickets
man.
and all kinds of stuff.
I had to pay that. I had to send that ticket today. I was like, man, I'm paying taxes and I'm paying.
That's crazy. You know what I mean? Last night, guys, if you don't know, we did The Last of Us on the Spoiler Kings channel, so make sure to check that out. Show is gonna be good. We'll be doing more stuff with that too. I'll be trying to do a watch party with that once I get through with this Daredevil stuff. Oh, thank God it's the last one.
I'm hoping that's good. I am so hoping that it'll be good.
Me too, 100%. He said, Shana Bala Lecter or Oshana Bama Laden. Greetings, Big Ford and Brian. Thank you.
What's up?
Appreciate you popping in, Fletch. How you doing, brother? How you doing? It's always a pleasure. I don't know. You trying to, let the people know that I can't read properly with what you're sending out there, but I tried. All right. Oh,
and that wasn't that bad.
Bin Laden.
Shana Lecter or Shana Bin Laden. That wasn't that bad. You pretty much figured that out. I'm giving to you.
Trash. Send me a link. Say hello. Are you scared? All right, never mind. I got you.
Why not, man?
I hope you've seen the little video I sent in the Facebook chat. Please watch it if you haven't watched it before I let you on. All right, watch that video just so that you know. But yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming with the link. We are here to talk about From. First off, hold on. Before we get into From, because I know we weren't here last weekend, and my boy got me into talking. About Yellow Jacket.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of the season finale of Yellow Jacket?
I heard a lot of people say they liked it. I said I feel like they didn't answer me enough questions, and it's too much. I don't like too many cliffhangers.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me. I like at least finish up the storyline and then give me something new. And I didn't get that, so I didn't know if I actually didn't like it that much. But
Really?
I've heard a lot of people say that it's the best ending. They loved it. They love what they did. They like how it's very similar to the first. Exactly, Fletch got out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar to the first episode. The same feeling. I feel like it's just we gonna get more of the same. I want some closure. I didn't get much closure.
I got you. I'm with Fletcher. I thought it was pretty good, and I liked how they did the callback to episode 1 to where we actually found out who it was. Unfortunately, I didn't really care that it was her. You know what I mean?
I feel like I already knew that though. I don't know. I already
I
knew.
didn't. I can't say I didn't know, but it was I can't say I did know, but I was like, yeah, it kind of makes sense when you look at it and the hair color and everything. Yeah, 100%. Said, don't you think the police would connect the radio phone that Nat used to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, disappearing? And 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, they never found the bodies of them there, but I think the police would connect them using the radio of Edwin.
And
Yeah,
it's
I
so
agree with
simple
you.
to do it. So I mean, there's just issues. Not that it was bad. I'm not saying it was bad, but there are issues. I didn't feel like any really storyline really got tied up at all. I just wanted. Maybe I was expecting too much.
And it's funny too because I'm sitting there and I'm like, so now it seems like they're trying to make Shauna the bad person at the end of it. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
she's going straight like Shauna, which is interesting. But I don't like her anyways. I'm like, yeah, I want her to dead.
Are you kidding me,
Lady
man?
boy lovers in the house. What's up, bro?
Are you kidding me, man? Lady
What?
boys, lady.
I'm just saying, it's been a minute.
How
Usually,
you're
when
spreading around town?
well, let me say this because I know my boys and the people in the chat. You know this. Usually, when you have a boy, a friend, and then he doesn't come around anymore, it's because he got a gal. Well,
Yep.
since
That's usually what happens. He likes boys.
Nerdman likes lady boys, he caught a lady boy and hasn't been around in a while. I get it.
Do you
I
see the
get it.
bullying I have to go through, Brian?
Oh, that's so bad. Come on, you know,
You
if you don't get bullied,
correct.
you know Anzo doesn't like you. If he don't bully you, then he don't like you. That's just what it is.
Facts.
You are. There's
What's
a
going on there,
lady
man? How
boy.
you
His
been?
name is Camilla.
English?
New lady boy in my life. His name is Camilla. Very beautiful.
No, that's
His name is
No, but for real. Hello. I haven't seen you in a long time,
It's been a
and
minute. Absolutely.
I've missed you guys, so I wanted to say hello and say that I'm watching and chilling with you after the fact. But it's good to see you guys.
Yeah, man. Where you been? You been working?
Working a lot, yeah. Doing some performance stuff as well. About to
that's
do
awesome.
some videos and record some stuff in studios. So it's good.
That's good.
That's
That's
awesome.
good. And you know what? It takes you
What?
away from coming on these streams and talking your blasphemy
It's a
bullshit.
blessing for you, yeah. It's a
Yes,
blessing because you
100%.
the heat ain't gonna get turned up and you can spread your blasphemy freely, yeah.
100%. I don't gotta deal with nerd man. Oh my lord! Thank you, Jesus.
Whatever.
I'll
He
be
was
back,
just talking about it. It
man.
was like, man, I wonder where Nerdman is. He was just saying that Sunday.
No,
So I don't know.
listen, don't even do that, Brian. We ain't doing that. All right, we ain't doing that. I'll sit here and do this from stream by myself if I have to. You know what I mean?
Anyway, guys, I'll let you get on with it, man. I just wanted to say hi because I haven't seen this episode. If I'd seen it, I'd kick it with you. But like,
You didn't
I
watch
haven't seen
episode
it.
2? You didn't see it season 2?
I've seen it. I've seen it before, but like my
You just don't remember.
recollection is vague at best right now.
I
But
got
I've been enjoying your Daredevil content, even though you're capping.
not
That
me.
who's the white boy on it?
He's
Like
the most hated person ever. Like
these guys cap for that crap, bro. Not me.
what? What's the white boy's name again? Oh fuck! What? He's the
Who, Chris?
biggest capper for that show, Chris. Yeah. Oh my god, that is pure cap, bro. It's almost like he's trying to deal with it or something. Deal with the fact it's cap.
Facts.
I'm telling you, Chris and Danny love it. I'm like, I mean, it's fine. You know, it's not nothing to write
No, I've
home
seen
about.
that. Yeah, to be honest, you've been more level headed than these MCU.
Have you watched
guys.
it?
I watched the first episode and I was like, nah, man.
So you can't even
Honestly,
talk
from the
first episode. You don't know, whatever we said.
Man.
So you don't know if we tapping or not. Get out of here, bro.
It's funny though. He could go to from season episode 1 to episode 6 with no problems.
Yeah, for real though.
I might watch episode 6. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go and watch episode 6.
No
what do you mean
problem.
I could go from episode? Do you mean I could skip 4 episodes and just go to episode 6?
Yeah.
Yes, pretty
I
much.
saw you just. I love the way Hanzo just got more and more crestfallen every week. Every week. Started off with optimism.
I started off on point, and then the last two episodes, I was like, "Nah, I can't do this. This is crap. You guys are capping." So I'm saying,
No,
I'm
it's
saving for
not
tonight.
crap. It's Law and Order. It's just not a good
It's not
superhero show.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah, at all. Kind of reminds
that
me of the
Daredevil.
Batman, you know?
The Batman.
Shut up. The Batman's tight, bro. In comparison with Daredevil? Why?
Yeah, I probably
Has
watched
Frank
Daredevil.
turned up yet, or is he still not in there?
Who?
The
What?
Punisher. The Punisher.
So
He
has
came
he
in
Frank-
turned
one.
up
He
yet?
came in one episode.
That episode I was talking about. Oh, no, that's 5 that he was in. 5, I think it was.
Yeah,
He
episode
killed
5.
somebody? Or he's in court?
No,
No.
He's
not
the
even.
defense.
He just has a conversation with Punisher, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're lying to me.
yeah, that's
They've got
it.
Punisher.
It's a
and he
whole
don't
lot of
kill
talking
anybody?
in this thing. It's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's like an emotional, like,
Piece
It's
of
like
crap.
Law and Order.
what you
Like,
say?
Yeah,
it's like
Yeah.
you waiting for the doom doom.
yeah, it 100% is Law and Order. 100%. You know what I mean? It's definitely not Daredevil. Daredevil was in like 2 episodes. That's it. Like in the
So
costume.
it's like
That's
it's kind of almost like a romantic show you watch with the girlfriend now, or something like. It's turned into
It's just not
turned
what
into
we're
that
used to seeing. Not
about
what we're used
emotions. What
Yeah,
is
we're not.
Daredevil feeling this week?
I don't want to agree with you, but it's kind of like that.
we're gonna find out tonight. You know what I mean? Tonight's the final episode.
Oh, there's another episode tonight.
Yeah,
I'll
there's
watch
another
the
finale.
last episode. I'll watch
Tonight's
the
the
last
finale.
episode.
I'm
If
hoping
I'm-
that's good. Man.
Mm,
Well,
if I'm
come through,
available, hopefully
come through. I'm doing a
I'll
watch
come
party
through.
in an hour. Yeah, I'm doing it in an hour.
Oh, in an hour for it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hour.
I
9
don't-
hour. Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Let me get some stuff
an
done
hour
and
and
I'll
40
try and
minutes.
do.
Hour and 40 minutes actually. So yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Get your stuff done, and if you want, I'll put the link
Yeah.
in there. If you want to come in, you can.
Yeah, and so I can watch it through you.
Yeah.
On the movie. Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, peace, dudes. Enjoy.
Peace out, nerd.
Enjoy.
Take care.
I'll be watching.
I appreciate
cool.
it. So, as he does always, he derails the stream, right? Comes in here, talks this crap, and gets us off the track of what we actually here to talk about, you know. But let me get to Fletcher's comments. He said, "Yeah, those visions of Lottie, come on, man.
Yeah.
I know, man. It just, I thought it was an okay episode, but again, I was expecting more, to be honest with
So
you.
you guys are kind of coming to my side. I was like, yeah, it was fine, but it's not. I want more. I want some closure. I wanted something. I didn't get those things. So
Well, no, I think the next season will probably be the last season where they get rescued and we'll get all the information
All the
that we need.
answers.
So yeah, 100%. But guys, we are here to talk about from episode 5 called Lullaby. Brian, thoughts on this episode?
I feel like we knew a lot of stuff there, but you see connections. You see all the seeds they were planting that we saw towards the end of this episode. Throughout the entire episode, no matter what you're talking about, with Jade, with the song, with the singing, with the violin, you see a lot of all those type of things. No matter if you're talking about with Sara and Elgin, that seed being planted, you start seeing the people that are going to affect other people later on, or the fact that the only good person, the only smart person there, is always being ridiculed all the time. I don't understand it, and he has great ideas, but we always hate and cap on him all day, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand why Jim doesn't get the love. He's the one that tells it. He tells Boyd again, look, we don't have to like each other, but let's work together to figure this shit out. Guess what? If they did what Jim said, they already been out of there.
100%. You know what I mean? And then he asked Boyd, he's like, oh, well, what did you see? And Boyd was like, just not now, Jim. Like, really? Like, conversations, you know what I mean? This is what we're talking about. At least Jim had enough sense to come to you and tell you that he heard the voice on the radio, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And Boyd just brushed it off like it was nothing. That's why these motherfuckers are stuck in the position that they're in, because ain't nobody talking to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and they do it
bro.
over and over again. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? What's the point? Why would you be not talking to each? Why are you surprised about stuff? As oh, that doesn't make any sense. I can't believe that. Do you not know where the hell you are?
Facts, 100%. You know, he said, now, so now
You're
you
a
guys
joke.
are gym lovers. How many times have
How
changed?
times to change.
You know what? It has
You're
changed,
right.
man. As we went back and watched it, we were like, you know what? Jim is actually the smart one, 100%. You know,
Exactly.
and I think that's the reason why he died is because he was too smart. He'd have probably figured it out. It
Yep.
just would have anybody fucking listened to him. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't have listened to him. They didn't listen to him, and look where it got
Now,
you. So
exactly. Now he's dead because he was making all the right moves, and there's things that are said. So we talk about what he told everyone to work together. He takes comes to Boyd. He challenges about Sara. Then he tells Boyd, "I looked at Sara in the face.
Yes,
I can see. That's just a scared kid, a messed up kid." Like he's the only rational person that we have in the entire show, and we hated on him the entire time. I don't understand why.
I was the only one repping for Jim. I remember Nerd Man. Unfortunately, I do remember you were repping for Jim. I'll give you props for that. You know what I mean? But I think we were more blinded with the fact that Jim wasn't listening to Tabitha and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
But when you go back and watch it, you realize that
There's a
Jim was,
reason. You
yeah,
should be
yeah,
listening to him.
yeah. Tabitha's horrible. Yeah, Tabitha's the character. Tabitha's horrible, horrible, and I think it's gonna get even worse in the next season with her. But
Yep.
right now, yeah, she just doesn't like it's all fake love and all kinds of crap with her. You
As
know what
long
I
as you
mean?
listen to me, I love you so much. I give you hugs and kisses as long as you're
Mm-hmm.
listening.
Mm-hmm. 100%. You know? So yeah, Tabitha is really an issue in this one.
I got
Did
a couple of things
yeah,
I did think about.
I was
So
just about to ask you that. Go ahead.
we have Ethan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ethan said to Sara, he said, "You lived in the woods, right?
Mm-hmm.
You survived out there. Only thing that lives in the woods are monsters. Everything that lives in the
Monster.
woods are monsters."
Yep.
Now that could be one or two things, right? That yes, she really is. That Sarah's really a monster, or he was giving you a seed about the man in yellow
Interesting.
and the man in white, the boy in white.
Yeah,
Because if you live in the woods, you're a monster.
100%.
He
And
says
that's
the
the
same thing about
thing.
Martin too. Martin too.
And to make your point, that makes because we know that the creatures are living under the underground. He said in the woods, so he knows that there's something else in the woods, and she's like a monster like that, like worse than what's out there. Yeah,
So
yeah.
anyone that lives in that woods is probably a monster. No matter what you think they are, they're probably a monster.
Including Martin.
Including Martin.
I like that.
Including the boy in white. Including all the ones that we kind of feel a connection with. No, if you live in the woods, you're a monster.
No, I agree with you 100% because I still till this day say that the boy in white is not 100% on the up and up. You know what I mean? Like there's something more about the boy in white where he may be doing things because he knows that he has to stop the man in yellow, and it doesn't matter who he affects to get that done. You know what I mean? And that's
Yep.
why he's so vague with all the information he's given out, right? It's like, okay, I need you guys to do it for yourself, but you got to want to do it. You got to want to do it. I can't force you to do it. So you got to want to do it, which is kind of shady in effect. Because if I tell you what I want you to do, you're not going to do it. And I need you to do this. So I'm not going to tell you knowing that you may end up doing it. Crazy. Manipulative. You
Manipulate.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. That's
Yeah.
a good word for it. Yep.
Yeah, 100%, So I agree with you on that one. And I
Okay.
do believe, man, because I think Randall said it at one time where he's like, nothing in this town is here to help you. I still
Exactly.
believe, yeah, I still believe that till this day, even when you talk about, supposedly the good and the bad. Like the only things that I think aren't trying to harm anybody is the Cooley kids.
Yep.
You know
Because
what I
they're
mean?
ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they don't
exactly.
live there, they're dead already.
Yeah, exactly. Everything else, the boy in white, the man in yellow, they're all playing this game with everybody in that town. You know what I mean? So that's definitely what I think. What else you got?
All right, so we have Christy. Christy said something when she found out Sarah was coming back, right? She takes off and Marielle's like, "Hey, where you going? What's going on?" And she explains the whole thing that she kind of gave her permission
Mm-hmm.
to do what she needs to do, the bad evil thing, whatever. And she felt some type of way. And she said something to the effect of, she asked me, "What would I do for you to see you again? And would I do a
Mm-hmm.
great evil to see you?" And I told her, yes, I would.
Mm-hmm.
And it made her feel like a certain way, like she gave her permission. And she wonders, she said, we kind of skipped over it, but it's like, I wonder, is that why you're here? And now you're here. So because I did something and got Sarah down this road, that's why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that from sent Marielle because of that?
Yeah, definitely a possibility too, right? Because we know, like you said earlier, they're manipulating things. Boy in white is manipulating things, right? And maybe because Sarah failed, it's kind of a punishment to her because she was getting close with Kenny,
Mm-hmm.
right? You bring in Marielle, and all of a sudden that connection or whatever
It's
she
gone.
had with Kenny is gone.
And then Kenny, who was having that connection with her, with Christy, what is now, lost his father, lost the girl he was
Mm-hmm.
talking with, lost his role model. So
Mm-hmm.
it's two birds in one stone. It giving her Marielle, who is a drug addict and who's probably going to drag her down, has been dragging her down ever since she came in. Christy was at
Mm-hmm.
the top of the list of one of my favorite people. And as Marielle's been pulling on her, she's gone to a point where almost sometimes she's forgotten. And that was all
Absolutely.
Marielle that brought that in.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And even for me, I got something too, because when Victor and uh,
Jade.
Jade went to go play, you know what I mean? And he looks and he sees all of these cars there. Victor's like, yeah, I moved them there because I didn't want them in the town. But what struck me is Jade was like he's never been to that part of town before. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? He was
Mm-hmm.
shocked, right? So there are things that are places that they haven't been to yet, right? So
100%. Yeah.
who knows what's hiding behind this or that, or maybe there's a way to get out and they haven't explored it yet. So I found that
There
a
was
lot
something else
interesting.
that hit me with that same scene.
Hmm.
Victor says, so I moved these cars here. And he says, there are a lot more cars past these
Yeah,
those rocks. There's a
yeah,
lot more.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well, cars
100%.
haven't been around for forever, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So how many people drove over there? And they said they were there before me. How many
Mhm.
people how many iterations of these people have gone through these same things? Is it a lot more than we're thinking?
I
Okay,
think so.
once
Yeah.
in the 60s, once in the 20s, no, it probably could be all the time that they've been
Mhm.
taking people and killing more people.
Which would make sense, right? Because so let's say we talk about the reincarnation and stuff. It's possible that they could still need people in that town for when Tabitha or the reincarnated does get there, right? Because
Hmm.
it would make no sense for someone to be a reincarnated and they get to the town and all of a sudden there's nobody there. People have to be there. So it's funny because they must get killed, right? Like when they don't succeed, everybody must die. But once everybody dies, they're still bringing in people, right? People have been there for a long time and they're like actually living there until the reincarnation comes because the reincarnation needs to be able to settle in. And you can't settle into some place you can't get out if you're the only one there.
Yep.
So it makes sense that people have been there. Like, let's say, for example, Tabitha dies, right? Let's just say, for example, Tabitha dies, they don't finish it, right? And it takes another 40 years for another reincarnation to get there. But during those 40 years, people are still coming and living there and dying and shit. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So, yeah,
Feeding the
I'm right there with you.
monsters, feeding the
Yeah,
beast still.
yeah, yeah. Feeding the beast, 100%. Now it's different because they have the talismans to kind of protect them. But at certain point, they were probably feeding those beasts on a regular basis. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like every night, someone was probably dying, and you can imagine how long it took for them to realize and hiding places, right? Because they have hiding places upon hiding places, which means people actually like that when the Boyd first gets there, they go underground. People built that, right? To
Yep.
hide from there. So you're right. It's not just because you have a reincarnation there and it's like, oh, everything starts over. No, it ends with the reincarnation, but people are still constantly
Coming
living
in,
in that town.
dying and stuff.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
That
they
makes
have to finish what they're doing to free everybody. You know what I mean? So that nobody gets stuck in there again. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so now we got Victor. Victor has a lot of stuff going on. He's dealing with Jade a lot. He's telling a lot of stories, talking about his mother. He's sitting on top of the car. We see him. Why did he? So the violin was his mother's violin. Another connection to Miranda with Christopher, again,
Mm-hmm.
because that was her violin that she hid with him, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
when he was going, he was thinking about the song because he had the violin still with him. So she hid the violin and her kids in a place that Christopher did not know
Yes.
intentionally. She said,
Mm-hmm.
I need to make sure that Christopher does not know, and this is where we hid for that night. And then I came out and everyone was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Was Christopher's idea to release the man in yellow first?
Ooh. It's possible because I'm gonna go a little bit further with you on your point, add a little bit to that, right? Jim, Victor, when he's talking about Christopher, he says he was happy and he used to
Mhm.
joke and then he stopped. Now, if you look at Jade, Jade was never that big joker, but Jade wasn't that like, oh, angry type of dude. Jade's gonna turn into that. Jade is going to turn into that. If he's going to mirror what Christopher's path was, then he's going to turn into that. And you're going to find out he's going to change. He's going to be different. He's probably going to be a lot more angrier,
He could be
a
even
lot more
worse.
upset. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it would make sense that, yeah, Christopher may have been the one that tried to get the man in yellow to come because it's Jade that played the music, right? Which would mean it would probably have been Christopher,
Christopher.
yeah, in a
And
previous one.
Miranda wouldn't have hid the violin for no reason.
I agree. I agree.
And then this is small, but the idea of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Mhm.
It seems, it's a nursery rhyme we all hear, we heard 1,000 times, it's all great, but it seems very lonely. The whole idea of a song, a star all alone,
Mhm.
twinkling in the sky by themselves.
Mhm.
It seemed very like reminiscent of what Victor had to go
Victor went through. Yeah.
by himself, a star all alone, having to twinkle by themselves.
Mhm.
So I
Which
just
is
thought that was good imagery in itself.
no, it was great because it makes a lot of sense, right? And that's probably why he's so into the song because he gets to a point where he's the only one there, and I'm like the only star left in this town. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, that shit makes sense, bro. I like that. What else did you get?
Well, so it's so funny because no one talks in this town, right? Except for Kenny. Apparently, Kenny goes around and tells everybody about what happened with Boyd, right?
Mhm.
Everybody gets to know. Everyone in town walking around like, yeah, I know exactly what the hell's going on. I mean, Donna knew, T and Chan knew, the Matthews all knew. They're all talking about it at night. He talked to them that night. Kenny left
Mhm.
and told everybody. That
Yeah.
was so for a town that don't want to talk about anything that's important, when there's some gossip or something that you're upset about, then they want to tell everybody.
Facts, 100%. Now, here's the scene where she has the little, her little thing from her brother, the porcelain
Ornament,
doll,
her
whatever, the
ornament.
ornament,
Mhm.
yeah, and he breaks it. And I always said that when she put it together, that's when she started to hear the voices. Um, she hasn't heard them, but she did hear it when she was with Boyd, right? She
Mhm.
heard that voice when she was with Boyd. So I have a feeling that the ornament may not have stopped the voices completely, but I think when she put it back together, that's when they came back right away. You know what I mean? The possession of that thing. And I believe maybe she wasn't hearing them a lot because it wasn't in her possession anymore. She didn't have it. Tien Chen had it, right? And it probably needs to be in her possession for her to hear the voices again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like that goes to show you that, there's a lot of things that are possessing people. It's not just the creatures and stuff, like they're being possessed. So that was very interesting for me. Very, very interesting. What else you got?
All right, so this is something small. So once we talk about Elgin and Sarah, right? So exactly, right there, and him talking, and he was like, "What did he say?" He said, "Oh, you weren't in town because I would have noticed you."
Yeah,
Definitely trying to spit game at Sarah, right?
100.
And then she tells all this stuff. I killed my brother. Everyone thinks I'm here. I'm crazy. I don't deserve any of all this stuff. You know what's funny? It still didn't deter him
Yeah,
because
I know.
creepy things don't deter Elgin.
Absolutely. And it's funny too, because this scene foreshadowed what she had to do to Elgin, right? So
Yep.
she's telling him, like, oh, I killed my brother. Elgin, he bounced really quick. He was like, okay, I'm out of here. But obviously, he got the full information later, probably from someone else or whatever.
It
And
didn't
he
matter because
still,
remember when Kenny broke her stuff and all her stuff was all over the box? I mean, all over
Mhm.
the ground? He was the one that grabbing the stuff and helping to put it in our box.
Yeah, yeah. So
He
he
doesn't
didn't
scare
care.
easily. Yeah, and
Exactly.
I'm not deeply religious, but I went to church every week with my grandmother. You
hmm
know,
And then he sees this kimono lady who he thinks is an angel. You know what I
hmm
mean? I
because he
still
doesn't
don't
go
know
to
why,
church a lot, so he has no idea.
what an angel really is.
Yeah.
So this creature's telling, yeah, we can get you out of here, and I'm an angel, and blah blah blah. And he believed it. He believed it. So it's crazy the way you go back and you see like certain things. Because like I said, when I seen this scene, I was like, yeah, this is, and especially when she's telling him, like, this is foreshadowing exactly what. And I'll tell you this, that's not the first time she tortured somebody. She probably did it in the real world. She probably did something in the real world.
I got one more thing for you. So
Go ahead.
Boyd and Sarah, they're sitting there, and Boyd will say, I won't let you go in the box. Sarah says, Boyd, I shouldn't be here. I'm not
hmm
strong enough for this.
hmm
She's weak, right?
hmm
He said, that part I can't help you with. You better figure it out. Then the last time we see Sarah in season 3, she's like, Boyd's not strong enough to go through this. He's a good man. I don't want to see him go too bad. I need to take mine into my own hands. Why?
hmm
Because she's now strong enough to deal with it.
hmm And
Boyd
that's,
literally set her in
yeah,
down that path to do
yeah,
what happened to Elgin. Boyd is the
yeah.
one that set it all up.
100%. And I could see why she feels that way, because Boyd was the only one, even when he was like, at first, he was like, yo, if you move, I'm going to fucking kill you, all kinds
Yeah.
of stuff. But later on, he got to be like, yeah, you know what? I know there's something wrong. It's this town. It's not her. You know what I mean? And that gave her the confidence that she needed. And she ended up saying, all right, you know what? Well, Boyd saves me. So I'm going to save his soul, you know, which is very good, because I think Boyd's gonna need his soul in the next season. It just questions if Boyd had been the one to do it, would he have been damned? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, would his soul have been damned? Did she actually save Boyd from maybe, being stuck in the town or turning into one of the creatures or something, anything? You know what I mean? Like his soul being stuck there.
Well, he
So
can't
yeah,
lead. He can't lead him anywhere because it takes a pure soul, and because he'll do that, he no longer could be that pure soul.
yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. That's crazy, man. I 100% I agree with you. I think Sarah got her power from all the time that she spent with Boyd. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. What else did you get?
Well, the only other thing would be what Donna said to Boyd. He said that this town only had one thing going for it. That was
You.
faith in
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
So I think Boyd didn't really underestimated what held the town together. It wasn't his rules. It wasn't society. It wasn't safety. It was belief
hmm
that Boyd had all the answers. we are okay as a society as long as Boyd is there.
Yep, 100%.
And
And
I think
then
he just
Boyd,
kind of missed that.
and what I liked is that at least Boyd was like, you know what? I'm gonna go have a conversation with Donna. You know what I mean? I'm gonna
Mhm.
go tell her. And then even at the end, even with her talking about his faith, he was like, are you with me? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you could tell by what happens in other episodes and the other season is that she still was actually down with
She
Boyd. Like she
still
still
trusts
trusted
him.
him.
She's the
Yeah.
last person that trusts him.
100%.
Which is funny because they were on opposite sides of the fence.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like, remember when he first came to talk to Ellen? He was like, "Oh, you're not supposed to be here. We have our rules." And then all of a sudden, during this season, they became close, right? And
Mhm.
there was a trust there. And I think that again, this is another foreshadowing of the town being split next season. You know what I mean? Because she said people are losing trust in him, and I think the people that have lost trust in him are going to side with Acosta. They're
Mhm.
gonna side with Acosta,
Oh,
and there's gonna be
100%.
a big divide next season. And Boyd's gonna have to prove himself again, especially to Kenny, because I believe Kenny's gonna actually finally find out the truth. You know what I mean? That like you can't hide that truth forever. He's gonna find out the truth. Everybody's gonna find out, that he was the one that hid Fatima and everything like that. Yeah, a lot of shit's gonna hit the fan next season.
They're going to lose total faith in Boyd. That's what has to happen. That was the only thing they'll have going. So they wanted to break Boyd. So they can't break Boyd. So what do you got to do? You got to take everyone's faith in Boyd away.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I like about this season is there is a lot of foreshadowing to what we see in. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like they have little conversations. You're like, oh yeah, okay, people losing trust in them. But then when you really think about it, it's like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. And I think that they put a lot of these things in place so that they can go back to them. And we're gonna go back to a lot of this stuff, especially that things that were said in this episode.
Yep.
So
Well, I mean, one last thing that I saw Victor said, he said to Jay, he said, there are bad things here. They
hmm
make people do bad things. And
hmm
then he says, I'm sorry.
hmm
Almost like he knew
something,
it
yeah.
was going to come to Jade. Something's coming
hmm
after him. There are things
Yeah.
here that make people do bad things. I'm sorry.
hmm
There's something that's going to happen to Jade, and it's foreshadowing what he's going to do to all these people. We already know from Christopher, but it's obvious that now Victor already knows it. I feel like Victor has a lot of information that he's not sharing with anyone. He knows about the
Absolutely.
monsters. He knows them specifically what they do. He's probably seen it. They probably protected him, and he's just doing his own thing, being that little star, still dealing with the rest of the darkness out there.
100%. He definitely knows something. And I say this all the time. If we're going through a reincarnation and we're having this like same events, what up, Duan? How you doing?
Episode
You
one.
kind of have the same events playing out in every reincarnation, then it's obviously that something is going to turn Jade, right? I know a lot of us, and especially me, I kind of think Jade is going to turn probably, and Tabitha is going to be so heartbroken that she's not going to be able to do anything. So the two main players that are supposed to be in season 4, like solving this shit, are going to be out of commission. That's when we're going to get Julie and Ethan taking over to try and be like, you know what? If they're not going to do it, we got to do it. Because we already know they don't fucking take care of them kids anyways.
You only had one decent parent, and that he's going, so now you're screwed. But
Yes.
I think exactly what she's gonna be going through so much depression that obviously Julie's gonna go off on her own and do her own thing. And it's going to force Ethan to step up and do his thing too. And they are going to become leaders because mom is out of commission. She's no longer strong enough to be able to handle any of this stuff.
No, I agree with you 100%. So to me, it seems like, and I think Jade is going to be affected by Jim's death too, right? Let's not just pretend like, oh, yeah, Tabitha is in love with her husband, whatever. But Jade was the one that played the song. He's going to feel
Mm-hmm.
guilty because Jim said maybe we shouldn't play this song. Like
He
this
was
was
right.
something that came in your head, and all of a sudden you guys want to go play it. And then Tabitha was like, "Oh, well, maybe we won't play it here. We'll play it outside in the forest." You know what I mean? So he's gonna feel a way about Jim dying too, which is gonna change him. Tabitha's going to change. So we're going to have to depend the next season on Ethan and Julie. Julie with the story walking and Ethan with the storytelling. And those are the two that are going to have a lot of main focus in the next season, I believe it. Obviously Boyd too, but I think we're going to be centered around them trying to figure out how to change things. Because they're going to have conversation. Julie and Ethan, they're going to be broken too, but they're going to be
They're gonna do
broken
it
in a way.
together.
Yes,
So like
try and
we
fix
we
it.
even
Yeah,
saw it in this episode when Ethan was totally scared, closed his door, didn't want to deal with
mhm,
anyone. Julie's the one outside. Hey,
yeah,
I'm trying to be that
hmm
support for you. Then
yeah,
when we thought that Jim was dead after Tabitha left, right?
hmm
Julie's like, I was afraid I had to raise Ethan by myself. The
yeah,
connection between them two has always been strong. And I think
hmm
we're going to see that in full effect next season.
absolutely, 100%. And I think Boyd will probably, because again, Jim dying is going to affect a lot of people in the town. It's going to affect Boyd too. So I
Mhm.
think it could possibly be to where Boyd is like, yes, maybe we should help these kids do this, and part of the town like accost them, like, no, they're kids, you can't do that, blah blah whatever. So that may be a part of the divide too as well. But definitely they're gonna try and figure out a way to fix this thing. And I think that's probably how the season is going to end, with maybe them being able to or learning something, and then next thing you know, the next season, because I think there'll probably be two more seasons. So this season and then the final season will be the absolute end and tying everything together. So that's definitely what I think. I think two, and I'm good with two more seasons. I love the show, but if you give me two more seasons, you wrap it up fine and dandy and everything's good, I'll be okay with that. You know what I
I
mean?
think so
So
too. Yeah. How about this? What if I told you, so because Tabitha's going to be out of commission, the two that really help raise the kids are going to be Ellis and Fatima.
I could see that. I could see that, because I still say that those will probably be the two that will stay there at the end. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fatima already is worried about going back into the real world. She's not going to want to go. And even though Ellis may want to go, he's not going to leave Fatima there by herself, because the thing she went through. How do you like? I gave birth to a creature, you know what I mean, in Fromville. Like, you don't come back from things like that.
But she also gave birth. So her maternal instincts have going to kick in for a little bit.
Yeah.
There's
hmm
maternal hormones, and those kids are going to need somebody. And she already has a connection with Julie.
hmm
I think she steps in and just helps out Ethan and trying to support. And once again, it takes a father to, someone who had a good father to be a good father. And no
hmm
matter what Ellis thinks about Boyd, his dad has always been there.
100%.
So I feel like Ellis will be that person that steps in, and they won't try to overstep their bounds, but I think they will be there for the kids as needed, because Tabitha's going to be losing her damn mind.
Absolutely. Which would make a lot of sense, because Fatima's already most of their proxies, right? But
Yep.
then when she comes in, I'm your proxy. She was Julie's proxy. She was Elgin's proxy, and who knows who else she was their proxy coming in there, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
could see her being the one. I just I just like, she's really gonna have to get over giving birth to Smiley though. 'Cause you know what I mean?
You have to
Like,
replace it with something. Though I think you not just giving birth to Smiley because she didn't see it, but giving
mhm,
birth and then it being gone and not in
yeah,
knowing that it's a monster baby, but the baby is
mhm,
gone. That connection that you had before is gone. She's
yeah,
gonna need
yeah,
something to replace that.
yeah, yeah. And the kids would make total sense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, maybe maybe they're the ones that help them, because even though I say Julie does the story walking and the way the story walking is with Julie's body just being out in the open like that, she's gonna need some protection. And you're
Mhm.
right, it could be Ellis and Fatima. They're the ones that are helping protect her, protect her body and help her to get through this. Because at this point, anything can happen. Like, you just gave birth to a Smiley baby, so now we need. Now is the time. Like, we need to get out of here. Yes, 100%. I ain't going through that shit again. You know what I mean?
100%. Yep.
So I agree with you. It makes a lot of sense. Not to mention the fact that it would give them a bigger role in season 4 as well too. You know what I mean? Like, they have decent size role, but I think you really want to focus on them.
You have to remember that painting. They have to be
Yeah.
a stalwart, a huge part of this starting to end, or even the middle and the end. They have to become bigger, and the way they become bigger is become the proxy. They become, the parents. They become the model couple, the one who went through everything, came through the fire, and came through stronger on the other side. That's what they have to be.
Agree.
So I feel like that's what's going to happen, and they're going to have their kids.
I agree with you 100%. It would make sense too, right? Because you can't just brush off what they've been through already. You know what I mean? You got to have some sort of, closure for what happened in this last season 3 with them. So to make them help Ethan and Julie do what they have to do, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that. I definitely like that theory. Um, One more thing pretty much is where is it? I think there was a conversation that I really was thinking about. I know Ten Chen with this conversation, she's like, "Oh, you took from me," but I, even though she was hurting, I kind of feel like she still had feelings for Sara, and
He
she
loved
still
her.
understood. Yeah, she still kind of understood about this town. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel like it's just Kenny that lost his mind. What
Yeah,
did you
Kenny
think
was not
about?
going.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about him using the bottles to make this? I thought it was kind of weird that he was doing that, and I don't see
I
what
think
he
it
was trying to
foreshadowed a lot of his
accomplish.
craziness. His craziness was being
Ooh,
foreshadowed.
ooh, I like that. Because when I was thinking about it, I was like, even if, like, what was your end goal with this? You know what I mean? But now you're saying, yeah, it's his craziness.
Schizophrenic. He's going to be schizophrenic, and he's going to become that the more further along they go, and that's what you're going to see from Jade.
It's his obsession with that symbol, right? And it's gonna be a problem. So, like you said, I think all of it is showing cracks in who they are. You know what I mean? Like, when you see certain things, like, oh, you may seem like you're this strong guy, but you have issues that I think the town is going to take advantage of. You know what I mean? And the town is going to start taking advantage of a lot of the people in there right now. The weak-minded people. Boyd's gonna be fine. I think Randall will be fine. But I really think Marley's gonna have an issue.
I'm going to tell you that the entire town's going to turn on Boyd, except for Randall. Randall, of course, I think he's gonna be. Of course, you're gonna have Ellis, Fatima. They're going to be there, and I believe the kids. Everyone else, and Sara, of course, because Sara is the G. But everyone else is going to turn on Boyd. I really believe the entire rest of the town will be anti-Boyd.
You think Donna too?
I think Donna wants to be with him, but she can't. She's not going to be able to justify it. And she's going to look at Acosta and even see, she's going to say, maybe we should follow Acosta. She will always be on the fence. She'll be able to always come back, but she's going to say, we're going to follow Acosta. And that's why the town's going to then follow her.
Which makes sense because she's like a real cop too as well. And we already seen that there were a few scenes where Donna was actually going to tell her all the stuff that was going on. You know what I mean? So there's definitely a possibility that Donna's going to have that conversation with her. I just personally, I think when it comes to turning on the town, I think Boyd's gonna have obviously Ellis, Fatima, Sara, and I believe Donna. I think Donna's gonna be the only one out of the other ones that are gonna side with Boyd, and
I can see her coming
everybody else
back.
is gonna go.
I can see her coming back to Boyd, but I can see her being a mole. But I'm telling you, I think Randall's not going to trust Acosta at all. He doesn't seem like a dude that's going to follow a woman. First off,
I agree, and a cop too, right? He already
and a
has
cop,
that authority
exactly,
problem. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
You know?
I think we talked about it before, and you mentioned it where we should have like, Randall says, "I understood what you did." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I
Yep.
get it. You know what I mean? I get it. The town above everybody else. But at the same time, Jim Boyd was ready to sacrifice Randall for the good of the town, but wouldn't sacrifice Fatima for the good of the town.
Exactly. And
You know
he's
what I
probably gonna
mean?
call him out. That's why I think Randall will be there to call him out on his shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Call him out like,
I
hey,
agree.
you're not treating everyone equal. You're trying to get us all out, but you really only care about your people. And that's going to
Hmm.
cause Boyd to have some self-reflection. But Randall's not going to leave.
Yeah.
He's just going to say, I don't fucking trust her either.
Yes. I agree with you that Boyd is going to have some reflection and he's going to realize, you know what? I can't just think of my family as well. I need to think about everybody. If I'm going to get everybody out of here, I got to think about everybody. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And even though certain things may go against the family, I may have to do that. Now, I have a feeling that it won't get to that point, right? But it's possible with the way things are going that he may have to make a choice at one point. And if he does, how will that will affect his relationship with Ellis? At that point, you know what? To be honest with you, Ellis at this point should be like, you know what? You've done everything you could to help me and
Yeah, he's
everything.
just his
So
dad. He's like, he's
yeah,
my
yeah,
dad
yeah,
now.
yeah,
This is what he
yeah, yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah, 100%. So if you have to do this, and I get it, it's kind of against us. You do what you got to do, man. Because
Yep.
I know deep down inside you don't want to do it, but we have to get everybody out. So yeah, definitely. And like I said, I really think that last picture of Ellis and Fatima standing there in like the Garden of Eden, I think that's how it's going to end. I think it's going to end with them two staying there. You know what I
I can
mean?
see it. I can definitely see it. It makes perfect sense. I think a lot of the opening has everything to do with the show and how we're gonna get
Yeah,
to it. Because we saw what
I
it has
agree.
in the beginning. We seen the picture. I believe the man in yellow's in that beginning. I believe the boy in
Yep,
white in that beginning.
yep,
And we know who Ellis and Fatima are. And I think that's what's gonna get them through to the monsters. So yeah,
I
I'm
agree.
100%. I agree.
100%. And I do think that they may end up. I think they're gonna have to kill the monsters. The creatures are gonna have to die. So they're gonna have to find a way to kill the creatures. If not, it's gonna be the man in yellow that does it, and they're just gonna
Mhm.
have to deal with the man in yellow, right? And they'll probably find a way to trap him in there, but to make sure he stays there, somebody has to stay. And it's gonna
Mhm.
be Ellis and Fatima, you know what I mean? And then they'll probably be, at that point, anybody that comes to the town will be able to come and leave as whenever they want to and stuff like that. So yeah, they'll probably build up the town there, build up a town, and it'll be because of Ellis and Fatima. So
I love it. I love it.
that's definitely my theories. I mean, there wasn't really much else in this episode, to be honest with
Except I'd
you.
say this Marielle just make Chrissy look uglier and uglier as she goes. Her transformation to from a butterfly to a moth. That's the fuck she was doing. It was terrible.
Yeah, I feel you, brother. I feel
Go
you.
back into a caterpillar. What?
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel you. I feel you. And there was one scene where she was talking to Kenny in the kitchen. I was like, okay, yeah, I can see why you're doing it, Kenny. And now you're like, yeah, you know.
yeah.
Mhm.
Nobody's going after that now.
Mhm.
And that's
So
why she keeps on getting hurt.
yeah, 100%. Now, one question I got for you before we close: who dies next season?
I was thinking about it. I still think Donna dies soon.
Me too. I think she's gonna die. Yeah,
I think Marielle dies,
I can see
driving
that.
Christy back to Kenny,
Hmm.
making Kenny realize he needs to follow Boyd. But Marielle
Hmm.
has to die in order for that to happen. It happens just that way.
I agree. I
And
agree.
I believe
Because
Henry dies saving Victor.
ooh, I like that. I agree with the Marielle because we always know that this town gives you hope and then take it from you. Hasn't
Mhm.
really taken away that hope from Christy yet, and it's gonna be with her dying, right? It just seems like she's like a third wheel there, anyways. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like she just needs to go. So I think she's gonna die. I'm with you on Henry too. I think Henry's gonna die. I definitely I think the biggest emotional death would be Donna, and I
Yep.
think they will give us that death. I think they will give us, or I don't think both. It's either one of the two. I know you said Henry, but I think it might be Victor, right?
Victor
I
could.
think,
Victor
yeah,
could, but I just feel
yeah,
like his father would do whatever because he wasn't there for his entire life, that he gives himself up for his son.
I agree. I could see that too. I could definitely see that too. But what if it's the opposite way and Victor gives up himself for his father?
They'll both die because Henry won't live. He wouldn't do it. He'd be like, "Fuck it, no, I'm out. I'm here."
So that you said that makes logical sense because again, I go back and I connect to Lost kind of things.
Mhm.
Remember when um Jin and oh my god, I can't believe I forgot her name. Jin and his wife, when they died, they drowned and they died together.
Together.
Jim, yeah, he did
Mhm.
not want to leave his wife. And if I think about it, there has to be two people in this town, if it's connected to Lost some sort of way, two people that are going to die because one doesn't want to leave the other. If that's the case, I could definitely see it being Victor and Henry. Those
And
are two logical. That's the logical choice for me.
if Marielle dies and Christy gets back with Kenny, right?
Hmm.
Kenny then would be strong enough to be the new Boyd, and Boyd
Yeah,
would be strong enough to let Kenny be the new Boyd,
yeah,
but then just give him guidance.
yeah,
And then
100%.
instead of Kenny taking over for Donna, Boyd would take over for Donna.
Yeah, yeah,
Kenny would be the
yeah.
new Boyd.
I agree. I think that's where they're going with that, anyways, right? Because when you first start off, Kenny's kind of weak and he gets stronger throughout. And I think with what's going on now,
He
he's
finds his
gonna
own
be,
voice.
yeah, he's gonna find his own voice, and it's definitely a possibility that he is going to be the next sheriff, especially if Boyd's Parkinson really kicks in next season.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I could definitely see that happening. So
And
it's
the only
interesting.
one I could see pulling Kenny away from Acosta is Christy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Christy might be one to stay on boy's side too, you know.
I think she's going to stay in the middle because it's going to Marielle's going to be definitely on Costa's side,
Hmm.
and then she's going to kind of be in the middle, like oh no, in the background a little bit. And then as soon as she dies, she start connecting with Kenny a little bit. As soon as Marielle dies with Kenny, she pulls Kenny back onto Boyd's side, and now we have who's on what each side now.
And it's funny too because you're saying you think Randall. I could see Randall being the one voice that brings everybody back to Boyd,
I can
right?
see, I'm telling you,
Because
he'll be the one saying, "I
yeah,
know this motherfucker got problems,
yeah,
but
yeah,
look at the facts."
yeah, 100%. Even though he did what he did to me, everybody here is alive because of this man. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Yeah, I could see
exactly.
that. I just have to have a town meeting for that. We know town meetings
They
are
don't do
fucked up.
those things.
They don't do that shit very well. You know what I mean? So he's probably gonna have to just get on on the bus and get a blowhorn and be like, "Hey, you motherfuckers, you need to listen to Boyd." That's the only way anybody's gonna listen. Oh
Even then,
facts. So I don't really have anything else for this episode. What about you?
no, I thought that it was a good episode, but I thought that it really just kind of reiterated what we already knew.
Yeah, 100%.
Showed the connections, and it shows a lot of things. If you now we saw season 3, all these seeds were planted right here. So
Yeah.
now as we go further and further along, we're gonna realize that things that are planted in season 3 as we get to that are going to be
Hmm.
what's going on in season 4. These seeds are all
Agreed.
planted one season away.
Agreed, 100%. And then final season is just gonna tie everything together. We're gonna have some loose ends still, but the final season is gonna tie everything into every loose end into a nice tight little bow. I can't wait, bro. I
Exactly.
can't wait. There's some shows that are gone right now, and I just can't wait for them to come back because
Oh
I'm
God,
stuck
good
doing
TV
this
is hard.
Daredevil shit.
Yeah, I'm not an anti Daredevil person, but it better do something.
Yeah, and we're gonna find out in about an hour, 40 minutes. We're gonna find out if this final episode of Daredevil is gonna knock the landing. I don't think it will because Marvel hasn't really hit that landing on any of their shows really so much so far. So
I feel like the
we'll see.
kid, the guy with a stick, like poking something. Do something.
Do something. Yeah, that little me. 100%. Hopefully, we get something done tonight. Brian, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Hey, I'm 1/3 Spoiler Kings. We go live Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And I'm here on Tuesday with my man Nzo over here breaking down From. So you guys got to come in, enjoy, and be with us. Comment.
Absolutely, 100%. I should do like you and tweet it out and stuff. I don't really do that too often, but I'll start next time. You know what I mean? Guys, I appreciate you coming in. We're going to the watch party for Daredevil, which will be in about 45 minutes. So make sure to check that out. Make sure to check out Brian's channel. Those guys do some great stuff over there. Fletch, thank you for popping in. Much appreciated. Nerd man, it was a pleasure. You know, it's always good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Stay away from the lady boys. And Dewan, thank you for popping in, even though I don't think you watch From, but you come in, give a like, and say what's up. So it's always appreciated. You know what I mean? But you got to watch the show. Anybody not watching it, you're missing out. That being
Catch up
said,
now. Catch up now.
Yeah, because the next season is still quite a ways to go. You have enough time to catch up to where we are, and you'll realize, like, wow, man, like this is good TV.
Yes.
Silo's good TV. Severance is good TV. You know what I mean? Yellow Jacket is good TV.
Yes.
Yeah, so make sure to check out all of those shows, guys. But peace, love, and hair grease, and we will see you on the next one. Next Tuesday, we'll be back. Peace.
We've got some problems.
Oh, shit. How do you think they're gonna react when we tell them they can't leave? Look, I know this sounds crazy, but none of you are safe here.
Whoa, what the hell is she talking about?
We are all in this thing together.
There are things around here that walk and talk just like us until they walk up to you and rip your guts out. There is no way out.
Oh, thank God we heard the screaming.
You picked a bad spot.
I'm seeing a lot of people pushed to their edge. You ever wonder if maybe that's the point?